even through all that, it's hard to say. I still was like, do I still belong in this room? I used to think that a lot.
Interesting. Why?
I used to think that a lot. I don't know. I think when you're in that intersectionality of you're not using all the big words and.
Welcome back to another episode of Keepin It a Bean. You already know this is the podcast where we intersect culture and coffee all over a beautiful conversation. This is your host, Marquise. If it's your first time here, never call me Mark, but you call me Marquise, Keese, Marquise Davon, this American Negro. All of that's good, but again, never Mark. However, if you are returning to this episode, hello to niggas and niggas only. You already know what the vibes are. How y'all living? So good to see y'all. First and foremost, if you want to support this here podcast, you can do so in two different ways. The first way is non-monetarily. You can do that by supporting this podcast using the hashtag KIAB or Keepin It a Bean. You can also do so by telling a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. That'd be great. If you're watching these lovely faces here on the internet, on YouTube, you can do so you can support us by liking and subscribing this video. Leave a comment. Do not be a hater, please and thank you. If it premieres at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, please interact with that too, because that's a good time. However, if we are your Monday morning commute, you can support us as well by leaving us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That'd be really the wave as well. This is how I show up on different playlists, but that's your best way to support here podcasters too. Other than that, thank y'all for such a great response to these past couple episodes. It has been so dope interacting with y'all on Twitter, being able to drive some conversation. Y'all really did a fun reaction to some of my previous conversations. And so just keep that conversation going. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. And we are good to go from there. Cool. All right. Now, we're going to get into this here episode. Y'all, I have a wonderful, wonderful guest. It has taken us months to get it together. It's my fault. It's me. I'm the drama.
I wasn't going to say it.
But not too much. Thank you. So, I have a wonderful guest. I got to meet this person but on the Grapevine TV, if you remember that very iconic web series. One of the funniest people I've met. One of the dopest humans that I got to interact with. He said, keep it coming. Stop playing with something.
I love it.
And the most luxurious locks in the game. Okay, that hair is okay. Okay, stop playing with him. Juice, welcome to the show.
What's up? Yeah. That was really good. I never been introduced like that before. That was really good. It gassed me up.
Just a little bit of something.
No, keep feeling me. Like I take diesel.
As you
just gas me up. Gas me up. Don't stop.
Okay.
Gas me up.
Okay. No, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. Finally.
I know.
And so now I'm ready to get into it. Woo!
Yes. Y'all, this episode, I'm excited to just talk around you, the kind of voice you've carved out in the internet and content space as well, how people already know you, even though you be like, nah, people don't know me like that. I don't know. I don't really be about it.
That's how I be feeling.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you your flowers because you deserve, so stop playing with them. However.
I like orchids.
Orchid? Oh, same as noted.
Yeah, I'm fancy. I'm expensive.
Give me a little
shop right roses. some bass.
Come on now, put it in there. So before we get started, I always do this section. It's called Keepin It a Bean. So it's like your little icebreaker, but it's wherever you want to keep it a bean, keep it 100, whatever's on your spirit, personal, politics, pop culture, whatever that thing is, you get to just get off your chest. What are you keeping it a bean about today?
What am I keeping it a bean about? Let's see here. Okay. If I'm keeping it a bean, I am tired of seeing these cowboy hats and these cowboy boots. Beyonce has sent y'all down the wrong path. I don't want to see it no more. We're done. I don't want to feel like I'm in the Wild Wild West. Everybody ain't roll hide. I am through with it. We've had our moment. The concert is over. Y'all need to hang them up, please. It didn't even get
started yet.
Please. I can't take it. It's really, everywhere I turn, it's cowboy hats, spars. Like, where are the horses? Like, it's too much. It's too much. And then when I wear like something like this, which I've been wearing for years, everybody thinks like, oh, you're so on trend. And I'm like, no, I've had this for years. I can't take it.
So the rest of y'all are playing catch up.
The rest of y'all are playing catch up, but I don't want y'all to catch up.
No.
Not in this way. This has to stop. Like, I feel like when I see people in the store, I'm like, quick draw. Like, what is, like, what is happening here? It's driving me insane. I'm sorry. And I love Beyonce. I just don't. Y'all are taking this too far. She didn't mean for it to go this far. I'm sure.
She said, take your asses to Houston. Okay? Stop. Go to the road to Chitlin Circuit.
Like,
let's do that.
What is happening? That's what I'm keeping it being about.
Wow. I was not ready
I had to get that out. I've been holding it for a long time.
I was like, that was on your spirit.
It's
you
been
seem relieved
there.
now. Like,
yeah,
you just kind of.
I'm just so light and airy.
Not you, tree.
That's in
the breeze.
Oh, that's what I do at work. When like I do something I'm not supposed to do, I'm like, I was never here. And it like distracts people, and they always forget. I'm like, ooh, never saw me.
You have such a serious job.
Yeah, yeah. I work in the courthouse.
Oh my god.
And I be walking away like,
you're not a real person.
I'm not. I'm really imaginary.
I'm kind of here for it though.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. You know what? Yeah, Cowboy Carter era. He said, "Cowboys away before the era even starts." What are you gonna do during tour season?
Hide. I plan on being blind by then. Yes.
Do you have 20/20?
No, I'm actually very blind now. I'm actually working off a sonar. I'm supposed to wear glasses. I'm supposed to wear glasses since I was a kid. Like I have a astigmatism in both my eyes.
What's wrong with you?
And I can't see far away. So what's that?
You're nearsighted.
I'm nearsighted. But at this point, I've learned to like read Braille. Like I'm out here surviving. Like you're like a shadow figure, but I just know your hands.
That's
like,
crazy. That's crazy.
I can just tell. Like I'm doing really good out here.
I'm gonna take it. I'm proud of you.
Cause my glasses are too like the prescription's too strong.
Oh, you got like.
So when I was a kid,
glasses.
When I was a kid, I was a nerd. And so it didn't help that when I put my glasses on, my eyes got this big. It was just like, it was a beacon for bullies. So I was like, well, at least I could do is like not help myself get hurt.
Oh my god.
So let's just not do the glasses. And so I just never picked them back up after that.
Wow. You said I'm maintaining my social status. I will not be bullied.
Survival
I will bully the bully.
101.
Wow.
You have to learn it really early.
Honestly, but that's what the kids don't have today.
Oh, no.
Okay? It's very different. Y'all don't have ugly middle school years anymore. Y'all have never learned to be humbled in your life. Okay? It's a little too late. That's not even my hot take, but I think that's the problem with today's generation.
They don't have no struggle.
They ain't no struggle.
They don't know nothing. You gotta smoke your cigarette. They don't know nothing.
Y'all don't understand. I had to go through acne growing up. Do you understand? Not too much.
I was gonna say I don't know about that. I mean, I would get like a bumper too. So I'm with you, brother. I would get like a bumper too.
I thought I had a friend.
I was always devastatingly beautiful, but it's fine.
You know,
I support the cause though. I would get a pimple or two.
When you felt like it.
Yeah, probably.
A lunch. Yeah.
That's fine.
I love that for you. Yeah, but if I'm gonna keep it a bean, this one a little bit of it's actually something, it was my hot take on Twitter, low key. They were like, what is your hot take about friendships? And I was like, class impacts who your friends are. And I wholeheartedly agree. Like if you're in different financial brackets, you have to work extra hard to maintain those friendships. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just because it's like there's like different access points too, right? Like your friend who makes like 6 figures and some change, they're like, oh, let's go take a flight. And I'm like, I got a plan. So can you give me like a 3-month runway? Because I said I'm still on a teacher budget. You feel me?
That's very true.
Versus like I said, now I can do like a cheap little brunch every once in a while, and it's good that I know people where I don't have to pay for too many events all the time. But like, just because I got here does not mean that I'm making the bread.
Oh yeah, or like we're not going to dinner or lunch, like a casual lunch after work at like why is bistro in the name of where we're going? It's lunch.
It's lunch.
It's 1 o'clock.
Take me to a deli.
Bistro.
It's expensive. You cutting the meat in front of me?
If I have to look at the menu before we go to like try to come up with an excuse, we don't need to be going to
at
this.
all. And that's really my big thing. I was just like,
bistro. Whoa, that doesn't sound like they serve sandwiches. I don't want to be there.
So what's their soup of the day? That's what it's really giving? Yeah, so that was really my hot take because I was just like, yeah, I don't think a lot of us realize it a lot of the time, but sometimes at the core of adult friendships, it's normally like class in the middle of it around just like, what can you do? What can't you do? Who are you choosing to hang out with? And like money allows you to do things differently. Mm-hmm. And so in my mind, I think class impacts the way we navigate friendships.
It does.
Yeah.
And even being the person with money, that is the problem, because then you're always the person that, like, once you get past a certain amount of comfortability, that everybody's like hitting you up for, like, can I have gas money for the week? Can I need this, I need that. You become the person that everybody's going to, but then you can either, if you're a natural giver, some people don't care.
Right.
But then if you're not a natural giver, but you want to take care of your friends, then those people can become like, feeling like they're being kind of used. Like, are you only hanging around me because I have the money to like be there for you? Because I don't really hear from you during the week outside.
But then are you actually friends? Right.
And
I think the dynamics change, because I think as like you kind of move up in economic mobility, status, and access, then you're also just like your interests can change, or you now have the ability to pay for the things that you actually want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who is taking flights every other weekend, and I'm like,
I love that.
I love it too. And they were like, yeah, Marquise just catching this flight with me. I said, to where? To the West Coast? No, I'm not doing that. Friend, I love you, but like, you got to give me a month and some change to like save up my money in order to just be like, all right, cool, now I can pay for this trip.
And like with me, it's like I have to work. I have to put in annual time. We have a 2 week.
I got a plan.
2 weeks ahead of time.
Like,
sorry.
what are we doing?
Let me know something.
Nah, facts. And so that's something that's actually, it's been funny, like seeing other people's reactions on the timeline, but it's definitely been like that space of just like, how intentional are we with friends? Do you have a lot of fair weather friends who are just kind of like, they're like, ooh, you're out for a good time, but I'm not going to like text you and ask you how you're doing, right? Like finding your balance of friends you're actually invested in, and then finding your little fair weather friends who are just like, if I see you out, we're going to have a good time. We're like, we'll always be friendly with each other, but I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, are you okay? Let's do a check-in.
That also comes with like age, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like when I was in my 20s, I'm not in my 20s anymore. When I was in my 20s, I had a lot of like fair weather friends. I had a lot of friends that were just like turn up friends. Like, we're just going out. Like, it's cool, whatever. We're rock stars. And then as I got older, I was just like, it's too much. It's too much to be on all the time. Like, I just need my couple. Like, I have my core friends now, and I really
see the same group
find it hard
to
like. And I think it's easier to have fair weather friends because the accessibility to other people is different when we're younger.
Yeah.
When you're in high school, you're always around people, so you're meeting people all the time. When you're in college, you're constantly meeting people. When you become an adult and you like get out in this ghetto adult life, you
still hate it here.
It's like, how do you make friends as an adult? Like, you're not just randomly talking to somebody you might randomly talk to somebody at lunch, but more than likely, you're like in your space.
Yeah.
So it's harder to make new friends and make these just friends or just associates because you're not really out unless you're like a content creator or somebody who has to like socialize with other people.
Right.
You don't make a lot of fair weather friends once you get like older and out of college or high school or these spaces.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. Honestly, because it made me think about like your core group of friends you have now. Have they been your friends forever, or are they like your adult friends that you made who are like sustaining long term?
All of my friends that that's a good question. So I have friends. I have a group of friends, the childhood friends, and those are friends that we've known each other since high school.
Right.
And we've stayed in touch. We go out. We have like game nights, whatever. And then I have my friends that I met in college. But all of them have like, at this point, we're like 10 years in.
Yeah.
So all of my friends that are like in my group, I don't think any of them are under 5 years of friendship.
Wow.
Like, we're all like 10 years in. Like,
yeah.
we know each other mamas. I'd have been at Thanksgiving. You'd have been here. I done seen you at your worst. You done seen me at my best.
Yeah.
I was at my best.
Yeah, I was at the best. Stop playing with him, okay?
See how I did there? That was good. That's how you do that. But all of my friends now like long-term friends.
Yeah.
But the majority of them I met in college.
Right. That is really sweet though, because I was thinking about it. Like, I've been having really, really good moments. I feel like that sentence was all types of fucked up, but I had really cool moments.
Where it was going, though.
You saw where it was
had
going.
Potential.
Yes. But making new friends in adulthood has actually been super fun for me. And again, like for me, I'll be 29 this year. And so as I'm kind of like navigating, I'm like, okay, at 28, there definitely felt like a shift in terms of like how I think about engaging in friendships and who I'm friends with. And then I think also like the balance of also being a content creator also adds on to like another layer of it, because now you're like, you meet so many people in different ways, And so like, especially dazzling personalities like mine and Juice's, everybody wants to be our friend, obviously.
Everybody.
But
everybody. Come on,
hang
take a
out.
number.
Yeah. But I think about it sometimes where I'm just like, oh, you know what? Like, I had to, for me, I was friends with a lot of people because I'm just like an extrovert. But I also realized like in some cases, like those relationships wouldn't be as deep, or they could get deep, but like I was spreading myself too thin. And so everybody was able to like take. And I was just like, oh, who are like the main group of people that like I am like, we here with each other, right? Yeah, we here. Yeah, get into it.
I think also you have to gauge, like, I think I had the same problem, but then I started gauging, like, the different, like, friends from associates.
Yeah.
From, like, just people that I say hi to.
Right.
Because I was calling everybody a friend. I'm like,
right.
oh, that's my friend. Hey, friend, how you doing? Friend. So then people would say to me, like, you have so many, like, just everybody's your friend. I was like, no. But then I realized like, oh, associates are people that like I speak to. I may see out. We may even go out like one night, but you're like not necessarily my friend,
right?
Because like, am I confiding in you? Or are you confiding in me? Like
where's the reciprocity?
Like that part makes you a friend. So I had to learn the difference between those, like, I guess those words and how to categorize people.
Yeah, because it then allows you to have those boundaries too, right? And I think that's what I had learned within the last 2 years, actually, of just like, what did I accept like too much as I was getting older, and then what am I not willing to accept in like this space of adulthood, and especially like making adult friendships.
I love how you say older. You're 28. That is amazing.
You know, I
love that.
Yes,
I'm like a couple years older, and I'm like 28. What a good year. Like, he's like, as I get older, I'm like, oh no. Well. That took a turn.
Wow. But it's also, I recognize, like, I still have not met, like, half the people that I'm supposed to meet in this life either.
You haven't lived yet.
You haven't lived yet.
No, you can't do yours.
Oh.
I'm talking about you. You haven't lived yet. You haven't lived
Get
yet.
that out.
Put that out. You got to step on it. Smokey the Bear said you're supposed to step on it. Remember that commercial? Back in the day, Smokey was like, don't just throw it in the fire, walk away. Like, you're burning things down. Step on it. Boy, have some class.
Have some couth. Like, what are you doing?
Have you not been nowhere?
Okay. But I think that has been like such a cool part, because I'm like, I definitely have my friends that I've known for like 17 years now. And then college friends have actually been the ones that, for me, have like leaned in a lot closer. And then I have a few friends post-grad that I'm like, yeah, like I get a good 6 or 7 from each era that I think I'm like lucky to have.
Same. Around the same number, actually.
Yeah, I feel like because people know you at different stages. Like, I know the people who know me like through dancing. That means you grew up with me if you know me as Marquise the Dancer.
Okay,
yeah.
The Dancer. Bust the move.
Okay. Yeah, stop. It's just like, no, let me stop. But like, and then people know me through college, and that's the podcaster. No, post-grad is podcaster. College was still like dancer, activist, keys, so like they know me in like these different kind of spaces and stuff. But it was like, it's like super interesting because I'm like, yeah, as I get older, there's like particular energies I enjoy. I like to think that me and Daniel have become good friends. He's our audio person over here. Yeah, that's a good human right here.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, that's him. But like for me, I was just like, oh, there's a particular energy that I just enjoy about different people, and I'm like, I can be your friend for like moving forward.
Well, wait till you hit 30. Once you hit 30, this is for my 30-year-olds. We're talking now. He's not in this. When you reach 30,
I was gonna say Kavon's not.
You get to. I was like, he's definitely not in it. When you get to 30, you get to a point where like now I can tell if I'm your friend, if we're gonna be friends or we're gonna have some type of relationship within like the first 2 sentences of us talking.
That's valid.
It's the same thing with kind of dating. Like you can walk in the door and I'm like, ooh, that ain't gonna work. It's the same thing with friendships. Like I could be in a room and I'm always, one thing about Juice, I'm big on energy. Like I feel people's auras.
Yeah.
And I know that people are like, oh, crystals and auras. But I really do feel people's auras. And so like I'm never wrong. And my friends used to get on me about it because we would have like events and kickbacks. They'd say, oh, I'm inviting somebody. And I'm like, okay. And they would invite them and I would like be around the person. I wouldn't even speak to them. And I'm like, and I would just turn to my friend like, I don't like him.
Like that
and they're like, you don't even know him, Jules. Yeah, give him a chance. all this. I said, okay, I'm gonna give him a chance, and it never fails. 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, what happened to your friend? You brought to the party? Oh, I don't speak to her. I don't speak to him. Why? Well, she did this, and he did, and I said,
what I say? What
did I say? We could have saved all this energy if you would have just listened to me. But I'm just like that now. I know myself enough to know personalities I clash with, personalities that I'm going to do really well with, and ones that I'm not sure about. I'm not opposed to getting in it and like figuring it out. But if it becomes too much work in the beginning, then I pull out.
He said it's not even worth it.
I'm out of here.
I ain't got too much.
Unlike Nick Cannon, I'll pull out. See what I did there? That was another one.
Like, wow.
That was a good one.
You gotta eat
that. They're flying
on a roll. Stop playing with it. No, I think that. Thank you for that, because I actually like that a lot. And for me, I actually wanted to like shift gears with you just a little bit too. Stop playing. And kind of talk around how we got to meet each other and through the Grapevine, and then ultimately like something I think that you really represented on that show that I think kind of, because I look at the Grapevine TV and I'm like, this is a show that really defined a lot for millennials, right? And it shifted a lot of how we engage in conversation. It shifted a lot of like how we're even thinking now. And we got to see so many different types of people kind of engage with each other. And so I remember watching the Grapevine first as a fan, and it's like, and you know, you're on with like Uchechi and Aisha and Donovan and all the people,
all the gladiators,
right? And I remember when I call it your episode because I'm like, this is when Juice came in. I said, who is this man? Because like, for context, if you don't know what the Grapevine TV is, which I'll be surprised if my audience does not know, it was a show where we discussed like different ideas in pop culture, politics, and just like what is Black life today and what are we thinking, essentially.
At a really big table.
At a very big table. It was like 10 to 12 people at a time.
It was. Wow. So many people.
And everybody just had to get like their point in. Like you really had to be really good at what you did. But I remember watching you come on, and it was a very refreshing moment because it reminded me, one, of why I started my show, but then also like when you're in a room full of people who are able to say like, oh, I'm going to dismantle white supremacy, patriarchal capitalism, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you get into that space where you're like, okay, I'm speaking above a lot of people, but like, how do we bring it back down to earth in a way that feels applicable? And I think that's where Juice.
That's why I came in.
Not only was Juice able, well, I'm saying Juice as if he's not sitting right in front of
me.
I
like it though.
Okay, I'm kind of here
like
for it.
I like when I'm talking about somebody really great. I'm like, you gotta meet this guy. Juice. Yeah, look him up.
Okay. But I remember when you came on and I was just like, this is so nice. Because, no, truly, it was like a breath of fresh air because you came in, you brought your whole personality, you brought comedy, but your points were just as poignant as everybody else's. But I think you spoke to an audience that they sometimes missed. And I think that was such an important piece to like represent, like, yeah, y'all can say all of this, but like in practice and in experience, I think where sometimes they leaned into like, here's the heady stuff, here's all the stuff in your thoughts. You brought into a world of here's how I had to navigate personally. So you brought the humanity, you brought the experience, which I think bridged their worlds of bringing in. Like I think experience and intellect kind of create wisdom. And I think you brought in the perfect balance of where they are at. And so like, can you talk us through like the first time you were on the show and like what was going through your mind?
Oh, wow.
And then how you felt like you were showing up.
Take me back.
Okay.
Okay, take me back. So I had never watched Grapevine. I'm giving y'all something that nobody knows. I had never watched Grapevine. Never watched it. I was on my Instagram, one of them things, or the Facebook, one of the people.
Not the Facebook. You ain't that old. Stop playing.
I literally put that in front of everything now. My friends are like, come on. I'm like, the TikTok. They were like, the TikTok. It's fine. So I'm scrolling and I just saw this. It just popped up, like I guess because like of the people I follow or something. I don't know. Yeah. It was just like auditions for, Grapevine TV, and it was talking about. I think it was the War of Masculinity. Might have been my first one. And it was just like, if you have opinions about X, Y, and Z, email here. And I was just like, this is like an open casting one, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm gonna email. why not? I have opinions. So I emailed, not just like email sent, and I was like, I'm never hearing from these people. And then it was like, ding, and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, y'all want me on?
He
So
said, stop playing with
stop playing. So then I watched like a couple episodes, and I was like, what did you sign up for? Like, what is this? These people are really in here, like, really, like, and I've always been like, I know I'm smart.
Yeah, let's be clear.
Let's be clear. I know I'm smart. But it was just like, they were just so, it was almost like they had a script, but they didn't have a script. Because everything was so perfect, and the timing, and like, and I understand that all that goes in it. I had never been on a podcast, a radio show. I literally did nothing but like talk shit with my friends. And so I'm just like, what did you sign up for? So I was hella nervous, but I felt like it was something I owed to myself to do because I've always been super opinionated. Yeah. And I'm like, if you're gonna keep being opinionated, let's get it out there.
Right.
And say it to the people. And plus, I think I also wanted to test my intellectual prowess and see like how I went up against other people. Mm-hmm. And so I got there. I was hella nervous. I remember I had on a different shirt. I had on a white t-shirt. And I sweat completely through the t-shirt.
Oh, snap.
And luckily, I always travel with extra shirt. Because I know that I get nervous and sweaty. So I always travel with extra stuff. Yeah. So I was like, so I had to run back to the car and get another shirt. Because I'm like, you are literally a rag right now.
Yeah.
And I just sat up there and I was like, and I see people with like note cards. You know, Aisha.
And she always writing.
She always had her note cards. And they were like in 2 fonts. So it wasn't like big words. Like they were like filled. And I'm like, what is she? And I'm looking around like everybody has these cards but me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did I like come unprepared? And I was like, you know what? All you can do is literally just talk from just let it roll. Mm-hmm. And when the cameras came on, that's literally what I did. I just started talking. And I think that intersectionality you were talking about comes from, I've always been super book smart.
Yeah.
But I've always been street smart too.
I was gonna say
Thanks, Carmen. That's my mom. That's my mom. Shout out to her. But she helped me be like street smart. Like she put me on game about a lot of stuff that was going on like in the world.
Yeah.
And so I had both of those, and I think in that moment they just combined. They just came together without me even realizing what was happening.
Right.
Because I'm like, y'all are saying all this, and this sounds really nice, but the real is X, Y, and Z, or when you break it all the way down, this is how we're really feeling. Right. Because these big words are nice, but this is not how people are explaining it when they're talking to their friends.
Right.
I mean, not most people.
Right.
So once I did the first episode, and I was like, I feel like that went well. And everybody was like, you did so good, you're so great. And I'm like, y'all just have to say that because y'all invited me here, but it's fine. And so I left, and then what was the next one? Was the next one Women in Hip Hop? I forgot what my next episode was. But they invited me back. Yeah. And I wouldn't even expect to hear from them. And they're like, hey, we have a show coming up. Like, do you want to do it? And I was like, huh? And they were like, do you want to do it? I'm like, okay. Sure. Yeah. And then they just kept inviting me back after that. And I was like, well, this must be a thing. Like, y'all really like me. You really like me.
They do.
But even through all that, it's hard to say. I still was like, do I still belong in this room? I used to think that a lot.
Interesting. Why?
I used to think that a lot. I don't know. I think when you're in that intersectionality of you're not using all the big words, but even though I could, and it's a weird place to be in. Yeah. And you kind of like, because this was not something that I saw for myself. Right. I didn't know where I fit in that content creator, commentating kind of world. And so I was always questioning myself. These other people seem like they've been doing it so long. Right. They're so like confident about what they represent. And I'm just a gay black boy out here talking shit. I'm like, is there a space for that? And there is. Yeah. There is, guys. There is.
Wow. Yeah. That is so. And it's so funny. Like I always feel like perception and reality, like it's really a bitch, because in my mind, like when I watched you, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, yes, this nigga gets it. Like, but I think it's important because I think a show like that allowed us to see so many different perspectives, right? Like you definitely have like your prim and polished people, but then we're thinking about people like you and a Mouse Jones, right? Mm-hmm. Like everybody's just like, hold on. This is a little different, but you got to watch people evolve as well. So like, when do you feel like was like that moment? Because as you talked, I was like, wow, you were really nervous. Wow, you really did not feel like you belonged. Like, when did you feel like you had that moment of, I belong? And when did you feel like you finally found your voice in this kind of commentary space?
I think the I belong part, I forced it.
Yeah.
Because there was
a Delulu King.
I was Delulu. I was real Delulu. But I had to commit to it because there was not an incident, but like me and Mouse had a back and forth one time.
Yeah.
At the Lady of Hip Hop thing. And he was basically like, well, if you don't know anything about like rappers, like why are you here? And I think about it, and I was like, I got something. I was like, cause I could be here. And then after that show, we were cool after. Like it was just, you know, like how that table goes. But then I thought about it and I was like, okay, if you really come into this table, you can't be in here shaking in your boots.
Yeah.
You have to decide you're either gonna show up, what your mom say, you either shit on the pot or you get off.
Yep.
And so I was like, which one are you gonna do? And I was like, well, Mama Carmen didn't raise no bitch.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
And so I think then I just forced it. And I just felt like when I walk in this room, when I walk past that threshold,
yeah,
all that nerve stuff out. I'm not even Lawrence is my real name, y'all. Lawrence. I'm not Lawrence. I'm Juice.
Yeah.
And Juice is this confident black gay man that's gonna talk what he knows, and I'm either gonna live in it or I'm not. So it was after that incident that I was like, moving forward, I'm in it. Like we gonna go.
That is fire.
We're gonna go. And I think it literally unlocked something in me because then I was quicker with my responses. Right. I was picking up what people were saying and I was moving it around and spitting it back out. Things that I weren't doing before because I was so worried about saying the right thing or sounding really intellectual. I had all these other thoughts that was blocking the creativity that was waiting in there for me. Yeah. When I actually found my voice.
That's so fascinating.
I honestly don't know what episode it was, but it wasn't because of an episode. I was out in DC at somewhere gay. And somewhere gay. And this guy and this girl came up to me and they were like staring at me from across the room. I'm like, where is this going? Yeah. And they came up to me and they were like, we're sorry, but are you Juice from Grapevine? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, we love you. Like we love you. We love everything you have to say, and you just represent the gay community so well. And then but I guess the friend was straight, and she was like, but even for me, and she was like, and I'm straight. You you just make it make sense, and that's when I was like, this is something. Yeah, this is something, and I was like, this is my lane. Right. Keeping it real for the homies.
Bringing it home.
And the homies. Okay. See what I did? There? That was good. All the homies. Like, bringing it together for everybody. That's when I really realized, like, maybe there's something about this.
Yeah. That is so fat. It's funny. Because I remember, because I was, like, before I was ever on the show, I was a big fan of the show because that was such, like, a pivotal part of my own development as... Oh, was it strong?
That is good.
Oh,
sorry, it just threw me off.
That orange spice tea.
Whoa. Yeah. They're going to hear me over here like, Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, but like that show had placed that was a lot of my intellectual development. That was a lot of me just like, oh, like there's a space for other people who get to nerd out about the stuff I want to talk about. But I always say that, like, for you, seeing you on that platform, and it was like a combination of events, right? So I was starting my podcast when I graduated from college, and it was like seeing you and watching the show and being like, I want to be able to like engage in these conversations because I think that's super cool. And then when I got home, I was like, yeah, down with the patriarchy. We got to like uplift. We got to burn it down, da, 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 da. And my older brother said, that's great, but what the fuck did you just say?
Like, what?
He said, what? What is all this? He goes, Marquise, like, what's the point of you saying all this stuff? He goes, can you translate it for me? And I was having trouble. I said, what do you mean? Why don't you get? What do we
He's like down with the parrots. What did the parrots do to you? Parrots, I love parrots. Beautiful creatures.
Right, beautiful creatures. But he came back and he was just like, I feel like you just like, yes, it's great that you got your degree, but you're talking above everybody's head. And so that was a moment for me. That's where like bridging academia in the hood came from, because I was just like, oh, if my older brother doesn't understand what I'm saying, then there's no access point. Or it's like, are you only living in theory? How much are you actually living the things that you're actually talking about rather than just pontificating? It's a privilege to pontificate, right? And we can sit up here on the platform and just think a lot, but in reality, it reminded me like the importance of, if we are about the work that we say we're about and really want to help out the community, how often are we able to just share stories? How often are we listening? How often are we like bringing it down for everybody? It doesn't discount people's intellect, but it allows everybody access into the conversation. And I think that's where like you, my older brother, the Grapevine, podcasting was all like a perfect storm, because I was like, this is how this all can exist. I can still be the nerd, but I've always been intentional around curating spaces where I'm like, cool, I need people who have diverse perspectives. We're normally like aligned politically, but at least it's like a diverse perspective on like how we get there, how we communicate the information, and all of that. So I think it's important. So I want to say thank you for also being part of my own personal development.
Oh, stop. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
You did that.
That's what we're here to do.
Okay.
Boom.
But I was thinking about the first time I got to meet Juice. I was so nervous to meet you. But you came up to me.
You were nervous to meet me because I'm telling y'all, I don't be thinking this kind of stuff. I'm like,
Cause
like the Juice you was talking about, I'm like, where is he at?
No, nigga, because I was walking.
Look him
and
up.
I forget what we were at an event together. I don't remember where we were at. I don't remember physically. I don't remember the physical space that we met. Did we meet digitally first?
No, we met physically first.
Was it?
No, did we meet digitally first? Was it the Instagram?
It had to be the Instagram, and I think
you like gave me a compliment on one of the videos or something,
yes.
And I was just like, oh, thank you, and then we had like conversations from there.
Right.
That's why I was so comfortable walking up to you when I saw you in person.
Yes,
there was some type of familiarity.
And was it at the Sunday Fun Day a couple years ago?
It might have been.
Sunday Fun Day. There we go.
Sunday Fun Day. Get you every time.
Okay, shout out.
See how we worked
okay,
that?
Brian, you did that. Got to it together. We
got it to it.
But it was funny because I was just like, y'all, do you know who that is? Like, that's Juice. And I'm sitting there just like, yo, this is the coolest. Like, this is one of the coolest dudes. That nigga's an icon on the Grapevine.
I wish I would have known all that.
No, because but it was crazy because like you were so, but like it also reminds me like you're such a normal person too. So I like, when I put y'all on the echelon of humans, like I'm like, yeah, these are them niggas who really like define like a generation for us, right? Yeah, and so that's why I was like super hyped when they finally invited me onto Grapevine, because I said, oh my God, you.
And I was excited to meet you. I'm
right.
Like, he's so smart. I mean, he just really be talking. I'm like, boom, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I literally did not know that. That's craziness.
I was all hyped, and I said I gotta act like a regular person before I scare this nigga away.
Yes, because I would get scared away very quickly. I'm like, retreat, crazy person.
Now that's bad energy over there.
Yeah, I'm like, he's a little cuckoo.
Cocoa Puffs. But yeah, but I remember that moment. And so, like, for me, I think about, like, you in totality and, like, what you represent within our own personal pop culture, YouTube culture kind of space. And, like, you really shifted a lot. How did you adjust to, like, the newfound people, like, the amount of people who knew you?
I think I'm still adjusting.
Yeah.
I still have people to this day that come up to me and be like, you look so familiar. I've seen you somewhere, and they're like racking their brain around it. And I don't want to be that person, but I'm like, do you watch like shows on YouTube? And they're like, yeah. Like I try to say it real low because you don't want to seem like that person like, I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
So I'm like, do you like watch like conversational shows on YouTube? And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, do you watch this one? Do you watch that one? Now I'm on Stranger Fruit. Do you watch Stranger Fruit? Oh, that's what it is. But I knew that's what it was when they were racking their mind around it, but I just didn't want to say anything about it. Or it's always Grapevine. I'm still getting used to it. I still like, people stop me in the club. People stop me like when I'm out at like block parties and stuff. Wow. And I still get like, oh my God, like really me? Stop it. And my friends are like, ugh. My friends are so over it. But they also like be like, no, people really know y'all. I'll be telling y'all, I'm out here doing stuff.
Y'all did not know.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. I don't think I'll ever get used to it because I don't see myself like. It's weird. I see myself as a star, like I'm amazing. But I never saw other people seeing me as a star.
Yeah.
So it never like it's just not computing.
And that's so fascinating because I think like as I listen to you talk, it's also like there's a couple points where like you're not even taking time to really realize your own kind of impact, but it's also like when do you think you will have that? Because earlier in the conversation, you were like, yeah, I don't feel like I belong. And now at this point in the conversation, it's like also like, how do people see me versus how you see yourself?
Very true.
Yeah.
I think when I get past my inner saboteur.
Yeah.
And I think we all have one. And I think my inner saboteur does not allow me to like fully embrace that like, you're something.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, I'm like, you're something.
Right.
But to really feel it, I think my inner saboteur is like, stop that. No.
Hey, relax that shit.
Relax. There's people out there that, they're going to do better. They're going to be better. Like it's those little voices in your head that you have to kind of get past. Once I fully get past them, I think I'll realize. But I'm slowly realizing it now. And I understand that like, I had some type of impact, but maybe not as great as like you made it. Like it was like really great.
You see how niggas still try to not take the compliment? You peeped?
I'll take it, put it in my pocket for later.
Okay. Remember that.
Ooh, that was a really good British accent. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It comes out every now and again. It's really good.
That?
Oh no, it's really good. It's really good. It's one of those personalities I got. But yeah, I think once I get past my inner saboteur, and that's something I'm working on. That's why I'm a black man in therapy. I'm just trying to like work past those voices that tell you you don't belong. Oh, you don't have much to say.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying that. Why would people listen to you saying it? Like these are the little voices that I hear.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, as you should.
That's just the rebel in me, and I think the rebel in me has fought against the inner saboteur.
Yeah.
Because the rebels is like, we're gonna do it anyway. I don't care if one person listens.
Right.
So it's just they're in constant battle.
This is so good.
I felt this. You're like gasping. I'm gonna be gasping like the rest of my life. Like, this is like. No, like really I am not an electric car. Like you do not know. Okay. I'm eco-friendly. You're really like just like I'm like woo.
Yes. And I think like moving forward, like what is next for Juice, right? Like
what is next for Juice? Well, Juice is gonna continue to be a bad bitch.
Okay, and that's forever first. In my spirit. Okay. He says my name might be Juice, but I got the sauce because the sauce is forever.
That was good. That was good. Write that down.
You should. Okay. You can have it. Cite your
sources. I like that. That's why my Instagram is Juice No Chaser. Because you don't need no chaser when you got the juice. You see that? Okay. Well, next for me is, honestly, I'm ready to start my own show. I'm ready. I've been like, I have all these ideas in my head. I've talked to you about it. And all these ideas. It's
an amazing idea. It's subtly subversive. And y'all are going to be gagging.
I like had all these ideas in my head, but it was just, again, the inner saboteur is just like, well, can you hold a show on your own? And I'm just like, at this point, somebody's going to listen. Even if it's just Carmen, she'll tune in. And then we'll talk about it later on the phone. So that's next for me.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people are going to tune in. Okay.
And I'm getting help from someone we all know.
I'm just saying when it gets here, okay?
Oh, that was a good sound effect.
It was. You did that. Period. On that note, no, thank you so much for joining for the conversation, Juice. I'm definitely going to have you back. I'm doing some special programming over the summer. A little bit more fun, a little bit more loose. We're going to play some games type situation.
Some more tea.
Oh, there might not be tea. That might be spiked. For those
I am down with that.
Yes.
Tequila me, please.
Oh, yes. Oh, you
love it. Get that.
Love a tequila. But no, Juice, you are forever a friend of the show. You are always welcome back to come hang out, chill out, give your opinion. I will definitely be having you back sooner than later. This was such a good conversation. I appreciate you.
I loved it. Thank you for having me. Yes. Like your whole thing. All of y'all are cool. The crew is cool. This is so like chill and easy. I just like sat down like.
I told you.
Very comfortable.
You know what I'm saying? Juice is in the background like I don't know. I'm a little nervous. What am I gonna?
Oh my god! But that's because I'm an overthinker. So I always overthink everything. So I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous. What do I need to do? And people but he just handled me so like. So cool and calm. He's like, no, you'll be all right. Just calm. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just like, like losing my mind. But y'all made it really, I love it here. Like, yeah.
Yes, I'm telling you. We here every Monday. So thank you so much. Let the people know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on, I'm on a show, Stranger Fruit. Look that up. It's YouTube. But you can find me on my Instagram. I'm always on the Instagram. It's Juice JUIC 3_ no chaser, and the S's are 3. All the S's are 3s. You can find me on there, and hopefully more feature at podcasts coming to you.
Yes. Put Juice on your show. Juice, you're always going to be welcome back to the show.
I want to be on people's shows. Invite me. I'm ready.
And please get into Stranger Fruit. It is a great show as well. I got to be on an episode. We out here. Yeah, we were on the same episode.
Cool. Were we on the same episode?
The hip hop episode?
No, we were just there at the same time.
You're right.
Oh, James.
Thanks. You owe me a Coke. Thanks. I prefer Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't want you to get the acne again.
Told you that.
Huh?
In confidence.
This is a safe space.
No, it's not. Do you know who's behind that camera?
Oh yeah. These young ones.
A little different.
Tell you.
On that note, thank you for joining us for another episode of Keepin It a Bean. Juice, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thanks for having me.
If you need to follow me, please make sure you go to Marquise Davon across all social media. That's MarquiseDavon. If you want to support me monetarily, go to Patreon /Marquise Davon. Please subscribe to that YouTube show, Marquise Davon Productions, as well. I appreciate you. I will see y'all next week. Peace.